If you guys don't mind, I had a strange story for you guys, and I also wanted to throw my quick 2 cents on tonight's topic, which was fantastic, by the way.
Sure.
Thank you. Let's
Uh,
do it.
on as far as what's going on with the technology and whatnot, if I remember correctly, the internet was originally created by the military,
Yep.
the same people that created MKUltra programs like Midnight Climax. And to think that these people were successful in these operations of mind control and mind manipulation and decided out of the kindness of their heart that, hey, we should stop and not do this, I think is silly.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like the internet is those programs amplified to levels that are unimaginable. And
Yep.
it feels like that's what's going on. And the reach now is just worldwide. And that's my 2 cents on what's going on with all this, why we're seeing so much division and fighting and whatnot.
You are 100% correct. That's how I feel. You know, when they, not to cut you off, but I just want to say real quick, the MK Ultra, obviously we talked about that, created by the government, mind control. They did something like Operation Stargate, which was like mind reading, telekinesis stuff. That's why I think they named Project Stargate what they named it, because there's a connection there with like telekinesis and Stargate and Elon trying to, what is he trying to I forget what word he's trying to patent. I'm spacing on the word, but like they're basically building it, the telekinesis, the mind control through the digital, through the algorithm, through the internet, so they can turn us into a hive mind, control your thoughts, and we're now, in my opinion, MK ultraing ourselves through social media.
Yes, without the need of drugs or medicine,
Yep.
so it's a lot easier for them now. And I agree. And once these programs like Elon's kicks in, we've lost complete all of our privacy. Privacy
Yeah.
will be a thing of the past. It will no
Yep.
longer exist.
Yep. Imagine what happens when they kick in all the quantum computers and there's no passwords matter anymore. They can break into anything at any time with all their AI, and that's total control. That's total information awareness.
They can already do that shit.
I think so too.
NSA has been doing it for a long time.
That's a very good point.
And it's also leaning into reality manipulation. Excuse me, because if you look at what's going on right now, everybody's in their own bubble, like you guys have mentioned in the past,
Yep.
and everybody finds a bubble where they isolate themselves into where it's just a echo chamber of whatever they want to believe or whatever suits them.
Yep.
Once that's hacked into our mind, we are literally living in a whatever reality they want to create for us.
That's my whole thing with like the idea of being in a simulation. Like we're not in a computer simulation, but they've put this like fake reality on top of us, and everyone's got their own individual silo of a reality. So depending on who you follow, who you read, what your news diet's like, we all have just kind of put ourselves in these different reality silos. And I mean, I even see it across different social media platforms. I can get into some beef on Instagram with someone with like a huge following, and it doesn't really bleed onto Twitter if that person doesn't have like a Twitter, profile. It's so all these different platforms are silos. Obviously, there's bleed over in each one, but they create an algorithm that can turn you into like believing in a certain reality. So that's why I always think of Scott Adams' quote, two movies, one screen, which was super
Yes.
on point for when he was talking about it during the BLM riots. But now I'd argue that there's probably like 100 movies or maybe infinite movies on one screen, and we're all just watching whatever movie we want on that screen, and we're like occupying one space. So we're kind of like interdimensional beings now.
Absolutely. And what's scary is, as it is right now, it's getting harder and harder to tell what's real and what
So
isn't.
bad.
Once this advances even more, I think we're going to reach a point where it's impossible to figure out what is
Oh,
reality,
absolutely.
organic reality.
Absolutely.
Yup.
The only way you can even notice now is there are some glitches kind of in the matrix, if you will.
Sometimes.
You have to really look for them, but you can notice weird shit in some
Yep.
of these videos that they're showing. And I've been able to pick them out multiple times without anyone else noticing, and I'm looking at the comments and the views, and we're
Yep.
talking 40,000, 50,000 upwards, hundred thousands of views. lots of comments, people like, oh my God, can't believe this. This is
real.
crazy.
Yep.
Wow, can't believe this is happening. And I'm sitting here like, it's fucking not.
Yep.
Like you've already had the wool pulled over your eyes.
Yep.
Look closer.
Yes.
You know, look at try to find the glitches in this shit, because it's like you said, at one point they're not going to exist anymore, and you're not going to be able to tell reality from this bullshit scape that they're trying to make us.
I hate to sound believe in. I totally agree. I hate to sound jaded, but right now we kind of have to assume everything is fake.
Yeah.
If they're trying to convince you of a narrative, assume everything's fake. Like, look, we on IRL tonight, Tim pulled up this. He asked Grok about Candace Owens and stuff, and I've been watching. I think I've seen all her episodes.
Let's use Grok. Grok hates Candace Owens.
Grok, and I was like, dude, don't you think that maybe Grok is basing these answers off like the wave of hate she's gotten? Because there's not a lot of people standing up for her, and there's certainly no articles written in her.
You think
defense.
it's feeding off the algorithm of the public, or you think that it's
100%.
been trained to hate her?
Well, it's been trained by the public because it is still like a human centipede. You know, it's basing everything. It's getting all of its information from.
So programmed by the public, not programmed by Elon or any of these people.
I mean, maybe, but I think
course hate in that direction.
From what I understand, it's eating up all the information from all of us. We're all feeding Grok. We're feeding most of them. So, and you see, there's been a major coordinated campaign against Candace, which I don't agree with. So, you know, when he pulled it up, Grok was saying quotes that Candace said that I don't think I've heard her say. I don't believe she said them. I'm almost positive. And
so it's only a matter of time before Grok starts screaming that Charlie Kirk was an inside job.
Yeah, well, depending on how many people start saying it. There's been
a lot of that shit going around because of Candace too.
There has been a lot, but I don't think it's as big as like all the major influencer accounts that have been going against her. But there is also that is true. There's a ton of people watching Candace and also saying it.
The more that narrative gets pushed, the more people are going to believe it.
And the other thing is, I do believe things like Grok are weighted, or they give more weight to certain types of influencers and media outlets. So there is that as well. Whereas a lot of people who are maybe defending Candace, they don't have as much weight when they're being fed upon by Grok. But like, there's clearly things that it quoted her as saying that I don't believe she said. I've asked Grok certain things about me when I told you about asking about me and fake clouds. It completely fabricated quotes. I know I didn't say those things. I know I say a lot of things, but I know for sure I didn't say those things. So I think what it does is that it creates quotes that it thinks are real because of what it's surmised through all the different things it's seen online, which is scary because a lot of people just believe it.
Yes. Thanks for standing up for Candace. I agree with you that she's been getting a lot of hate. I've been following her a lot since COVID because she was one of the few people that started speaking out bravely about what was going on and being honest. And in my opinion, she seems like a decent human being. She's stuck to her morals and values, and I respect that. And it makes me listen to her. I don't always agree, and some stuff, I'm skeptical and look into it myself. But she, I think, comes from a good place.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think she deserves all the hate that she's been getting lately. I genuinely believe that she's upset about what happened to her friend Charlie Kirk, and I think she's coming from a good place of trying to find justice and expose the truth.
Hey man, I support her. Like, look, we've had our beef in the past. We settled it. We had a nice phone call. We didn't agree. We still didn't agree after the phone call. That's fine. But I was like, she cares enough to reach out and get my side of the story, and I'll never forget it. And there's definitely things I don't agree with her on. And that's fine. I don't have to agree with people on things, but I take her seriously when it comes to the Charlie stuff. People think it's just drama. I think she's put up a lot of things that are very interesting, and I support her line of questioning. Go for it. I haven't heard her accuse really anyone of actually pulling the trigger. I have major questions about the official narrative.
Yes.
We all still do.
Everyone should. And I was supporting Alex Jones throughout Sandy Hook. I'm not going to abandon that kind of idea now. Even still, like, Charlie's close to the Timcast world. Charlie's been very good to us. We've met him, and I really like Charlie, and he did a lot of great things. He built an amazing company. Loved going to AmFest. Although I did have some criticisms of AmFest, and I published those as they were happening, but it was no reflection of Charlie. Charlie was really great to us, but obviously Candace and Charlie were very close. No one can take that away. You can't rewrite that. Maybe they weren't best friends in the last few years. They were both raising families, but I still think they were friendly, very friendly. They were still on tour at some of those times. So anyone to try to take that away from her, that's crazy. And I don't think we should just be writing her off as a lunatic. They do that to anyone that they want to discredit. And there's a lot of people who are against her openly that I think are psychotic, you know, and here I am doing it, but like, I know they're psychotic.
It's people doing this that gives wake to them discovering when things have happened.
Oh, yeah.
We want people questioning all of the narratives
course.
as much as possible and looking at it from every angle, because that's the only way that shit gets discovered, when there is something going on.
Of course.
Right?
And you should be allowed to question anything, even if it makes you uncomfortable. And like, when I'm saying they're psychotic, I've received DMs from some of these people who are part of this, in the periphery of this story, when like I tweet something they don't like, or a friend of mine tweets something they don't like. Now I have to hear about it. So I've seen these weird struggle sessions happen behind the scenes. They're not going to work on me. Clearly, I've been through a multitude of these online, publicly and privately. And I'm like, look, if I believe in something and I think what I'm doing is right, you're not going to change my mind. I'll listen to you. We'll talk. That's great. But it's happening to Candace now on a level I haven't seen since Alex Jones and Sandy Hook. The only thing that sucks now is that they have effectively convinced the independent media to do it to themselves, which is a real bummer. We shouldn't be doing that. But here we are, and it's insane. But yeah, no, I totally support Candace. I think what she's doing, she's uncovered some crazy stuff. That is,
absolutely,
the church stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah, and I wanted to, give you guys props, because one of the things I've noticed about your podcast and both of you as people is, you guys stay neutral, and you guys are interested in uncovering the truth. I see a lot of people that don't want to criticize somebody because, oh, that's part of my group. Oh, they can do no wrong. And I think that's where we're messing up as a society, is we have to be honest with each other. And if our group or whatever, our side, whatever you want to call it, is doing something wrong, we have to call it out. We can't just hide it because, oh, no, that's my group, that's my party, whatever it is. I think we should always go after the truth and fight for good and who's doing the right thing, and not just sweep it under the rug when they mess up. Exactly. I know earlier today you guys were criticizing the Trump administration, and I'm with you guys, man. I had high hopes for them. I've been disappointed in some of the stuff they've been doing, but just because I supported him initially does not mean I'm going to be 100%. He's perfect. They're doing great. No, man, I've been disappointed in a lot of this stuff. Like Brandon said, I think there's a lot of these politicians that we just need to get them out of there. We need people that actually want to make a difference, care about the country, about the American people, and we need to criticize them when they make mistakes.
Yep. Well, thank you for the kind words, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad that that resonates with you. I'm not here to toe a party line. I know Brandon's not. Like, we want what's right. We have our moral centers, and sometimes that upsets the hyper partisans. Obviously it's easier when you're going after your like so-called political enemy, when it's easy to say it's just the left, but it happens on the right. And a lot of people
staying neutral pisses them off too.
Yeah,
it's like you either side with us or fuck you. That's right. Everyone's mentality, no matter what side you're on.
Yes.
And it's
ridiculous.
It's bullshit. And yeah, we're at a point now where me and Shane have a platform where we can investigate the truth, and we can speak the truth to people, and people deserve that shit. So it's one of those things where it's like, if I end up in jail, I watched Charlie Kirk give his life to do and to keep promoting this way of good and this way of truth. And it's like, if there's only so many people that are able to do that, and that's the way that it has to be, then so be it. As long as we keep promoting the truth to people and keep trying to find a way to give it out to them, the people will listen, and the people will come back and rise up. And I want to keep that going. I know Shane wants to keep that going, and we're basically willing to do whatever the hell it takes in order to make that happen and continue. So
I didn't abandon and write off all of the more corporate places I was writing for, like the Atlantic or Vice even, so I could go then just be a part of a monolith. I did this because I have things I want to say. I'm not going to just say other things to make people happy or invite me places or have me on their show. Yeah. It's more important to me to talk to you guys out there. We have our feelings, and we can be very honest with them. And that's that, So I appreciate that, dude. I'm glad you feel the same.
Oh, absolutely. And this kind of leads me to the strange story I wanted to mention. I'm not a superstitious person. I'm slowly finding religion on my own because I'm seeing a lot of. I think we're witnessing a fight between good and evil taking place right now.
Yep.
It seems very obvious, and I wanted to bring up this strange story because this was terrifying for me. So I had called in the first time. I don't know if you remember, Shane, and brought up the topic of my battle buddy. And to give a super quick background, me and my battle buddy, we deployed in Afghanistan. We were in an infantry unit in the front lines. Solid guy, smart, educated. He's a black guy. I'm Hispanic. I've always just seen myself as just American. I don't need any subcategories. I am perfectly happy with that.
Right.
We had a fallen, and we hadn't talked in 7 years, and I had mentioned that when I reached out again, I had seen that he was already falling into some of these bubbles. So last night, I went to bed and I started having a really, really bad nightmare. And I hadn't had nightmares like this since I had came back from overseas. And what the nightmare was is I was living in a house with my battle buddy, and it was just me and him. And then all of a sudden, he let a bunch of mean, angry, hateful people live in the house. And then all of a sudden, he let more angry, hateful people into that house, which were just spouting hate, violence, angry. And I started getting upset, and I wanted to go find him in the house to ask him, why is he letting these people in? And while I was trying to find him, I couldn't reach him because more and more of these angry, hateful people kept coming in. So it got to the point where they were in my room, they were all over the house, and I could not reach my buddy. And I freaked out because the house was literally filled with these angry, hateful people to the point where I was shoulder to shoulder. I panicked, woke up with my heart racing, sweating, and I was genuinely scared. Okay, no big deal. I had a bad dream. I didn't think much of it. It took me a couple of minutes to go back to sleep. Went back to sleep, and the nightmare continued, but now we were outside of the house. And the house had gotten overwhelmed with angry, hateful people spewing all this negativity. And I was still trying to get to my buddy because I was scared. I don't know these people. These people are mean, hateful. And the only person I knew was my battle buddy, and that's who I needed by my side.
Right.
But the same problem happened again, is there were so many of these people that I couldn't reach him. Freaked me out again because now it's spilling onto the streets. Freaked out, woke up. And when I went back to sleep, I don't know if you guys have heard that sometimes people have the ability to control their dreams.
Oh yeah, lucid
I
dreaming.
I had that ability when I was a kid, and I can never forget that because I would actually have a lot of fun when I was a kid doing that. And I realized when I had nightmares, I had the ability to do that, and I would actually, in my dream, fight my nightmare, and it turned into a fun thing. I haven't been able to do that since, but because I did that a couple of times, I'm like, you know what? Why do I keep having this nightmare? Let me jump in there one more time, see if I can pick up where I left off.
Right.
But I'm going to try and control the nightmare this time. I jump in, and this time it's not just outside. It is the whole city just infested with these angry, hateful people.
Wow.
And I can no longer find my buddy. He's in the distance. I'm trying to get to him, but I just can't because there's just so many hateful people that are angry that I can't reach them, and I lose my buddy through all these angry, hateful people. And then I wake up again, terrified, heart pounding. And this is the part that's crazy is I don't know. I thought I was awake because I was looking at my ceiling, and I felt something grab my crotch and my leg and pull me at the same time. And again, I'm not a superstitious person. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in anything like that. But I felt something grab me, and I got so scared to the point where I sleep with my shotgun next to my nightstand. I woke up, grabbed my shotgun, and I cleared my apartment because I genuinely felt somebody grab me.
Wow.
So because of this, I could not sleep the rest of the night. I think it was like 2 a.m. at this point. I just stayed up. I went to work, and I didn't say anything, but that nightmare really, really scared me. And not to sound like a tough guy or anything, because I'm really not. It really terrified me.
Yeah.
So I'm at work, and I hear my phone just getting all these text messages, and I can't look because I'm busy at work. But on my break, I go sit down and I check my phone, and it's my battle buddy. And I had mentioned to him that I decided, because of everything that's going on in the country, I wanted to apply for law enforcement. I want to get out of retirement. I want to do something because I'm tired of just whining about it. And I decided to apply for ICE. And so he knew this, and he knows how much I care about my country. So I checked the text messages, and it's just nothing but hateful comments about white people, and then angry comments at me for deciding to apply for ICE, and then him calling me that I want to be a white man, that I hate myself. Again, I'm Hispanic, and I was really hurt. I wasn't angry. I was hurt because I don't know where this came from. And considering the nightmare I had just had, I couldn't help but feel that it was somehow connected to this, of losing my buddy in this just sea of anger and hate. And it just blew my mind. And I don't know if it was a sign, a premonition, or what it was, but it really, really bothered me that I had just had that nightmare. And the next day, I just randomly get my buddy saying all these things. And I guess he wanted to cut contact with me because he decided, I guess, that I'm a racist now because I love my country and I decided to join law enforcement. And it made me really sad. I didn't say anything negative. I couldn't reply, and I still haven't because I don't know what to say to him anymore. But it just made me realize how powerful this mechanism of whatever it is that this is going to influence, that this is happening. And it really scared me, and I'm really scared. But it also made me realize that I think I need to go to church. I think I need to find some positive in my life, some good, and keep focusing on that, because I'm starting to think that we have a full-on war of good and evil going on right now, and it's taking place. And I guess that was my strange story. I don't know what to make of it. I don't, all kinds of ideas run through my head. Was it a premonition? Was it a warning? I don't know what that was, but it was just so weird how those things coincidentally happened right after the other.
Well, yeah, I take dreams seriously, man. I don't write them off. I don't think it's fun. I mean, some are funny, some are just, absurd. Who knows? But I think sometimes God, gives us some sort of like a clue as to what's happening. Dreams are important in the Bible, for sure. But maybe someone could also argue you subconsciously knew this was going to happen, having reconnected with him and knowing how he feels, and that he's someone in your life who would obviously interpret your decision a certain way. But I mean, it's a very telling dream. It's like not literal, but the metaphor is very clear in terms of people invading your house and then city, and then you signing up for ICE, right? Like a clear, image of the invasion of the border. And then what your friend's doing, and then waking up to those messages, who knows how to attribute those things, but I think it's an important thing. And you knew subconsciously what it was going to happen.
I think that the way I was looking at it, one of the things that popped into my head was, the way I kind of saw it was, all those people, it was just because they didn't really have any features, it was just blank faces of anger and hate, spewing negativity, consuming a person that was once a good person, or maybe still is somewhere deep inside.
Right.
But I see that happening with a lot of people everywhere. I'm sure that we've all lost friends, family that were consumed by some of this propaganda and negativity going on.
Right.
And that's kind of the way I took it, is, these blank faces that we don't really even know who it is on the other side of that screen, that's trapping us into these negative, evil ideologies. And that's kind of where I was thinking that this is, a lot of us are being consumed by this.
Right. I see that. So it's also like the idea of the mind virus that's just attacking everybody.
Yes.
For sure. Well, man, I appreciate this story, and I'm sorry about your friend. And, I have hope for people even like that, who write us off, so maybe you'll find a way to get him back, and don't write him off, even though he might have written you off. But I want to get to one more call before the end of the night, and really do appreciate you calling in, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Brandon. And I appreciate what you guys do. Have a good night.
Thanks, man. You too.
Have a great night.